Hello, man. Welcome to the Troyiverse. This is episode 17. So, hello again. Today's date is February 10th. It is technically Monday morning at 3:55, going into Tuesday morning, or Monday night going into Tuesday morning. So, I'm still doing this gorilla style in my room. I'm still healing from my herniated disc. Um, the progress is going swimmingly. Like, I still have to say that I'm grateful for this. If not for this type of injury that I had, I wouldn't have been at my final process of actually learning how to relax. Uh, and when I say relax, I actually know what that kind of means now, or at least know what that means for me. I had to go back to how I used to be when I was a child, and basically when I was a kid, I was always nonverbal because I didn't have anybody really to associate with or talk to, or who would listen to me. So I fell into comic books. I fell into reading. I fell into movies, TV shows. But basically, it was just because I didn't have anything to really do. I didn't have a job, responsibility, stuff like that. Granted, that I do have a responsibility now and job, but thankfully, I placed myself in a position where I can be very lackadaisical in my pursuit of the career that I'm doing, school and stuff like that. But yeah, so for the last, I guess, week and a half, I've literally just been laying down, reading comic books, enjoying myself, just like watching different TV shows on my laptop. I still get up to move around because I don't want to be stationed in bed like the whole time. So of course, the usual grooming, as well as getting something to eat real fast because like I'm taking care of myself regardless of my injury. I don't have a support system of people saying, "Hey, let me come over to help you with this or help you with that," or do you need groceries, or I'm going to the store, can I pick you up, something like that. I don't get stuff like that. Now, my roommate, that's another story. They they do. Like her brother comes over. Her brother comes over to take her places, get her groceries, yada yada yada. Um, which that's great. That's their journey. So I just allow myself the anonymity to do what I used to do before I would cook for myself or shop for myself. I just order out. So I've been basically ordering out for the last couple of days, which I'm grateful that I actually have the income and to do that. So yeah, I've just been kind of relaxing. Just I've been playing some video games. I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I just finished that. So now I'm playing Rebirth, which is a phenomenal game. I'm really enjoying myself with it. But yeah, I really am learning how to relax. I finished reading this comic book series that I was enjoying. I hope as there's ongoing demand for that storyline because if I think it's fascinating. As well as far as my healing journey is going, I bought a couple products that has been very beneficial. One of them just came today, honestly, which was the it's a heating, vibrating, arched back pad. So basically, you put it under your lower lumbar. You turn it on. The heat comes on, and it starts vibrating at different intervals to relieve um, the compression of the spine, as well as the vibration stimulates the lumbar to activate some fluid or spinal fluid or blood and stuff like that to come into that to inflate the inside. I can't remember the exact name for it, but the the cushions that's between each of the vertebrae of the spine, as well as the heat helps the spine to relax and decompress. And it's been doing a great job, and as well as the arch part of the pillow, which allows it to get my spine to get back to its natural curvature. So it's been great. I actually used it twice already, and it actually is a 30-minute timer. So put it on once, I felt my back instantly start to release. I actually have sensation again in my legs and my toes again. Because if reminder of if you heard episode 16 or you missed out on that part of the discussion, when it comes to sciatic nerve damage, the type of sciatic nerve damage I have, it basically was I have a herniated disc, and that herniated disc is pushing on my sciatic nerve, which is causing irritation to it, as well as a lack of oxygen going to that nerve. So when there's no oxygen to that nerve starts to suffocate, and that suffocation, the tingles happen because it's basically on the death throttle saying like I need air, and that's where the pins and needles come from. So when because of the fact that the nerve is in a cluster, in the spinal cord, the lower spine, and those nerves run from the lower spine through the buttocks or the glute muscles, and when the glute muscles start to contract and actually gets more tension in it, that's when the muscles actually cut off more oxygen to the the nerve. And so having this new pillow apparatus actually helps to relieve that pressure and actually soothes the muscles to relax and allowing more oxygen to get to the nerve, which I am grateful for. Um, Ironically enough, I got this because of the fact of coitus. I usually tell people, or I used to tell people, because mainly this happened when I was at work. I used to work at Whole Foods at the time in Jenkintown. That all the way down on 309, the original Whole Foods that was in 309 movie theater parking lot. That went to they closed that one down and moved it to another location, like further into the suburbs. But yeah, because I used to work at that one, they would ask me like, "What happened to you?" And I was like, "I hurt myself doing exercise." I mean, it wasn't technically a false truth; it was just skewed because I always looked at coitus as exercise anyway. But yeah, it was. I think I said this before, but it was a 4-day weekend, a 4-day holiday weekend. Um, Me and my partner at the time was going through a marathon of coitus. We had a lot of alcohol and a lot of food, but not any water. So I was not hydrating, and as Garrus would say in Mass Effect 3, I had, strength and reach, and she had maneuvers and flexibility. So I ended up using too much of my reach, and she was trying to use her mobility, and I overextended myself, and that's how I shifted my disc into a herniated disc. I didn't realize how bad it was at the time because I heard it pop, but I was in the middle of coitus, so I didn't care. I was finishing my job because that's what I do. But anyway, but yeah, like within like I want to say an hour or two, that's when the pain started happening. By the next day, I was just fucked. I could barely get in my car without it being a sharp pain. I was barely able to carry our stuff that was in the sucked too because that night we were supposed to go to a bar. We were supposed to go to a bar. Like me and my coworkers, like this is like the first time we was always going to go like hang out and drink like that. And I was kind of pissed because I was like, damn, I really wanted to hang out with them. I enjoyed my coworkers at Whole Foods. Um, but I digress. I have another product that I'm actually getting, which it should have came today, but the delivery was skewed, and it's more than likely saying it's gonna come today and Tuesday instead of yesterday Monday. So when it comes, and hopefully the next podcast I can give you even further updates. But as of right now, the vibrating arch heated pad is doing wonders. Like I actually have feeling. Well, it wasn't like I was numb on my left leg and foot, but it was. It wasn't. I wasn't able to fully extend my foot all the way, and I can feel a little bit of pressure on it, but not too much. But after using the device twice, because it actually has a 30-minute timer, it actually worked out really well. I'm actually able to like stand and walk around without my crutches. I'm not overextending myself because of the fact that I don't want to hurt myself before I even get out the gate. But yeah, I definitely feel better. Um, I want to see how I feel tomorrow. Well, after I wake up, depending on if I want to actually try to go to the store and get some provisions. I don't know. Either way, I have my cane in my vehicle, so I can use that. I just have to make it to my vehicle, as well as try to get some of the things that's in my vehicle out of the car to get it into the house. So we'll see how that goes. But I have high hopes. I'm honestly really grateful. Like, if not for this time to actually learn how to rest and learn how to just like sit fully into my stillness, like I don't know where I would be at right now. Honestly, I'd probably still be going 1,000 miles a minute trying to like do 17 things, which has always been kind of where my mind is and then where my body followed. But now that I'm in like this state of where I'm like, I just kind of want to relax. Like the only thing I can do is relax. Getting comfortable with being able to do that. So I'm grateful. I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, hopefully people out there listening to me can tell the difference of the mic quality. I'm using my new mic. This is not a sponsored plug or anything. There's just a wireless microphone set. I'm still learning where to place it on my shirt, so I'm just basically holding it in my hands right now. But yeah, I like it. The quality sounds great. It feels good to like how with this new product. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And I'm like again, I've been in a state of gratitude and just being grateful for everything, honestly. Um, but yeah, I've been playing Final Fantasy 17 remake. I just finished that, which that was phenomenal. It was so funny, honestly, because I was on the second and last boss, the Whispers, and that thing was whipping my ass. And then I finally beat it, and I was like, oh, I gotta fight Sephiroth after that. Why was Sephiroth so easy? Sephiroth was so easy. It was so much fun, but it was so easy to beat him. It was just like, it was hilarious. But I'm playing Rebirth Fantasy VII on the PlayStation 4. Um, and this was, before the remake, Integrate, or whatever it's called, um, the newest version. But I got pretty far. I think I got to the desert part where you meet up with Red 17 or Red 13's family or like tribe or whatever. That's as far as I got in the game. Right now, I'm at the Chocobo farm, trying to cross over to the swamp. So I just got the Chocobo, and now I'm actually about to start doing the simulation fights. So yeah, it's so funny because playing the game, of course, the obvious like it was so cute because I actually was listening to the voice actor for Aerith, and it was adorable because she brought up the comment or the topic of the love triangle, and she said herself, she was like, I don't really see it as a love triangle, like, because Cloud has a really deep, intimate relationship with everybody on the team, so, like, it's up to you and your personal preference of if you want him to be with Aerith, Cloud to be with Aerith, or the Cloud to be with Tifa, and I always found it funny because, of course, reminder or spoiler alert if you didn't listen to the first episode, my first relationship when I was 5 years old in kindergarten with two other 5-year-olds was a poly threesome relationship. Like, so every time I see shows or games or something like that, or read books or whatever, where it was always this will they, won't they, or if some new person comes, a new guy or a new girl or whatever comes in and disrupts the chemistry of the two main leads, and everybody's like, oh my god, I really like this one character, but I also think the main character should be with the other person. I'm always like, why can't they just have a threesome? Like, it never makes sense. Like, the whole Twilight thing was dumb. Like, the whole Ross, Rachel, and Joey thing was dumb. Like, I never, it was always dumb to me. Even when it came down to, like, watching Eureka. Like, the Deputy Joe Lupo, Zane, and, like, Fargo. Like, it clearly, Lupo had a thing for intelligent men, regardless of their stature or their personality. Because she liked Fargo and she liked Zane. Now, she dated Zane. I mean, hell, she dated Taggart. Like, her and Taggart made out and, like, well, they fought. Her and Taggart was fucking. They was deep dish fucking. But, the funny thing is, it was like it never made sense to me where, like, it was always, okay. Or even Wes, Fred, and Gunn thing from Angel. Like, y'all work on a team, y'all live life and death scenarios. Like, just have a threesome. Like, what the fuck? Hell, Spike, Angel, and fucking Drusilla used to have threesomes all the goddamn time. Fuck. But anyway, I'm digressing. So, yeah, let me remember, where was I on episode 15? Okay, so, right. Now I was getting into, after turning 18, well, cat's out of that bad. When I was 16, I was intimate. I had coitus with, somebody that was 23 or in their young 20s. When I was 16, they were my first. And then 2 years after that, I started to be intimate with the woman from my church that was 10 years older than me. So she was 28 while I was 18. At the same time as being 18, I was also dating and having coitus with the 16-year-old of my uncle's girlfriend's daughter, who was also the younger sister to the brother who me and him was intimate, orally intimate with each other when I was like 15 and he was like 18, 19 or something like that. But it was no penetration. Well, orally penetrated, but no anally penetration, not like that. But whatever. Um, so after me and the younger sister broke up because again, when I decided that I should at least honor my honor my mom. Oh, just clarify. My mom is my roommate. I call her my roommate because at this point in my life, there's nothing left for her to teach me, and in the regards of me being a parent myself, the actions and displays of how she cares about me does not reflect how a parent cares for their child. Like I said, she forgot my birthday 3 times. She literally sat there like a bump on a log when my cousin called me an idiot without any rebuttal until I started to defend myself and then I became a problem that she wanted to jump on and say, oh yeah, you're the reason that all this is the problem. Not to mention the times where she used to abuse me, and the one time I talked about where she basically ripped my back to shreds with the cable cord, metal prong backing, um, and also the fact that basically my grandparents was the one that actually really raised me. She worked 2 jobs, and somehow I still didn't have anything to show from it. It was actually funny because this past week was very enlightening for me, um, because of the fact that I realized a lot of things around me, even to this day, revolved around about, elementary school and show and tell. And I never really had anything to show or to tell. So I would just bring stuff from home and make stories up about them, which was interesting because I love, creating stories. Um, the things that I bought didn't have really any value to them as a child. Like, the kids was bringing like a baseball card or, their favorite doll or their favorite, teddy bear or their favorite book or yada yada yada. I would just bring just knickknacks I would find in the house because the things I would got for my birthday was basically socks, t-shirts, underwear, long johns for Christmas. If it was anything that was noteworthy for me to enjoy, then it was something that was for me and my cousins to enjoy. It wasn't mine. So yeah, that's how I also started becoming an outcast because it was just I kind of just hung around my grandma and watched soap operas all the time while my mom at the time worked 2 jobs and yeah, somehow squandered all the money. But that's their journey. That's why I'm like they're my roommate, especially because I'm cordial with them, but it's not really like a mother son love type thing. It's just we're here in his house, and as long as you're cool, you don't burn the house down, I'm cool. So, but regardless, um, it got to a point where because I didn't have anything to really, or anyone to really talk to, after basically the whole Job Corps thing. Because here's the thing. So, and I went to Job Corps. Job Corps was great. pursue any relationships and just focus on my school and focus on getting my GED and focus on, you know, learning my craft and graduating that way, then I can come back and get back with my ex who broke up with me because she had a dream that I was dating a whole bunch of girls in Job Corps. So I was like, let me not prove her right and let me just, focus on, what I need to do. And then that's what I did. I focused on, you know, completing my GED, and I actually did that in like 2 to 3 months. Um, and like I got how I think the program is like a year or something like that, or depending on how long you want to like how long it takes. But yeah, I think it was like 6 months for the GED and 6 months for the trade, but you can go back and forth weekly with either or. And because I was done within like 2 months, 2 or 3 months, whatever, I just was the rest of the time was in my carpentry class, which was great because if you remember, I was foreman for the week that I was there. I was foreman, but because I was done my GD, I was there full time all 4 weeks. It was staggered weeks. It was I think the second and the fourth week of the month was when I was in carpentry, and the first and third was when I was doing my GED, like tutoring and studying and stuff like that. So when I finished and got my passed my GED, which that was easy. Um, I was just chilling as a foreman in carpentry class, and it was just dope. Um, I almost got into like 3 fights. I talked about the one where that's how I became a foreman because one of my classmates, my peers, knocked my coffee down out of my hand, and I almost demolished them. And I stopped myself, and that's when my instructor was like, "Yeah, I seen the self restraint. Like you had murderous intent in your eyes, and you stopped yourself. That speaks volumes. So from now on, you'll be my foreman." Then there was the next time where, wait, which time was that? Was that the? Yeah. The next time was when it was the washing machine incident. Uh, we had like 3 sets of washing machines in the dorms. One on the east side, one on the west side, and one in the center. Um, so I was on the west side of the building, and it was actually kind of funny because we ran a whole campaign to become the presidents of the dorm, and my gift to gab was, well, we won. We won. But the thing was, the president's room was dorm number 1, which was on the east side of the dorm. And I was like, yeah, just because we won, I don't want to move all my stuff into their room. And them, like, why? We could just say that our room is the president room. And they was like, yeah, that do make sense. That don't. Now, ours was like, yeah, that makes sense. That would be dope to move, to have your stuff. I was like, nobody ever thought before. They was like, nah, not really. Nobody really cared. But so we became the presidents of the dorm. But that put a goddamn target on our backs. Because, of course, we had the juice now. And we could do whatever we wanted. So we had TVs in our room. We had somebody brought a GameCube from home. Job Corps was so much fun. Oh my god. Job Corps was Job Corps was amazing. I had so many stories about Job Corps. Matter of fact, one of the stories which was hilarious because I have one of those. It's not a photographic memory, but I have directional awareness. So if I go someplace one time, as long as I'm in the area, I know how to go where I need to go. So that being the case, one think it was the first day that we actually, the first weekend, they was like, we're gonna get you, we're gonna take you on a bus, we're gonna go to the mall, get y'all some toiletries, yada yada yada. And they drove us down the expressway. Now we was in Washington D.C., Potomac, Washington, to be exact. Um, so I left Job Corps to go to the store. Now I remember the store. It was going to be like a CVS or something like that. And it was actually like 2 miles away from school. I was in my own head thinking because that's what I do, and what my legs and my brain was on autopilot doing was taking me to the movie theater. And the movie theater was about 4 miles away from school, and you had to get on the expressway to go that way. So I literally was on autopilot just walking. And by the time I actually paid attention and looked up, or not looked up, because I was like fully aware actively where I was going, but I just wasn't in the present mind because I disassociated. This was like one of the many times when I was like in my not my 20s, when I disassociated. So by the time I actually like popped back in my awareness, I was on the expressway just walking, and I was like, oh, this is not the droids I was looking for. So I basically had to like do a bow face, walk back off the highway, and then course correct to go to the CVS was like 2 miles away. I got on my toiletries, got a couple snacks, and walked back. But it was a good walk. It was fun. I got exercise, but it was great. But I digress. So we was washing clothes because we used top shit. We used the presidents and shit like that at the door. We just put our clothes in the washing machine, and when out we timed it, it said we'll be back in like 40 minutes or something like that, and put it in the dryer. We came back before the 40 minutes. It was like a half an hour at like the most. Came back. Why were all our clothes wet and on top of the washing machine? I was pissed. First of all, for me, cleanliness is next to godliness. I'm a germaphobe. I don't like dirt. I don't like people's dirty hands touching my stuff. I don't like when my clothes smell like mold or mildew. I take a proper level of pride when it comes to my scent. Like, so I was pissed, to say the least. So I took their clothes, whatever clothes it was, took their clothes out, threw that shit on the fucking floor, and then put my clothes right back in there and started washing my clothes again. Well, our clothes, it was me and my play brothers' clothes. We looked very similar. It was actually so funny because it was between me, him, and like a third guy who wasn't in our dorm. He was in another dorm, and we all looked alike. And we all had black leather jackets. It was funny as fuck. So thank God the third dude that looked like us, me and my play brother, was like really really timid and really really like quiet. Cause like if any one of the three of us did anything, we all would have been fucked because like they would have been like, oh, it was them. Like so regardless. Um yeah, when and I sat there. Me and my play brother just sat there on the wash machines while our clothes was washing, and we waited, and then we waited, and then the door opened, and then it was the people that was the next door neighbors to us who was coming to get their clothes. They seen us, they looked down, seen the clothes on the floor, they looked back at us, and I looked at them and was like, yeah, don't touch my shit again. And that's when, mind you, the dude was literally like 6'2". I want to say around like 340, 350. He's tower over me. But he went to try to run and jump at me. I'm like, nigga, what? So some one of his roommates grabbed him by the shirt, and he was all acting like, oh, he glad he hold me back. I'm like, you gonna let this somebody smaller than me hold you back? You a pussy. Nobody was holding me back. My brother was standing like behind me. He wasn't trying to like fight, but he was there. So I was like, yeah, don't fucking touch my shit. I don't give a fuck what the fuck you think this is. Like, nigga, wait. The fuck? So they heard me yelling because I can be loud. Not anymore. I choose not to. There's no reason to get loud anymore. People can't get me off my square. Now, mind you, it wasn't like I was mad at him, but I was mad at the fact that he touched my clothes. So they called security. Remember, I'm smaller than him, but the security guard comes in, sees me, sees him, and then my seafood, the one who was actually training me martial arts at the time, he was RN. He was a weekend RN, which was the same RN that was going to fight one of the other students. And I actually stopped him when I was high as shit. They say, hey, how's everything going? So, with that, they my seafood came up and talked to the security guard. I was like, can you just take him out real fast, give him some air, yada yada. So, meeting the security guard, it was in the car, and the security guard, and I can't remember how late it was, but it was late as fuck. Like, nobody was out. I think it was curfew at the time. And we were just listening to like old music, like Sade and the OJs and stuff like that. And vibing to the point where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be graduating soon. So what you doing? And it was wild. Like, it was. I'm not going. Nothing happened. Let me just clarify. Nothing happened between her and I. It was very intense flirting between the both of us, but it didn't go anywhere. And yeah, like I told her what happened. She laughed because she was like, "Yeah, that dude big as shit." Like the fuck. So, um, took me back to the. She took me back to the door. My clothes was on the dryer because my play brother put our clothes in the dryer, and yeah, they put their clothes into their washing machine, and everything was set. By the time I came back, the clothes was already dry, and my clothes was on my bed, and my brother had his clothes all packed up in his closet and stuff. So I just put my clothes up, and did my daily sit ups that I was doing, and jog board, and then went to sleep. Cause that was the thing. It was basically a dorm, so it wasn't like I could really enjoy myself with. I couldn't play my player one video game with myself. But let's just say that. Like I could do it in the shower, but I'm like, I'm not trying to be in the shower and I'm like bathroom full of a whole bunch of other dudes take a shower and I'm up here just playing with my Atari joystick. So yeah, I did a lot of sit-ups. A lot of sit-ups. When I tell you I came out of job corps looking like a goddamn, I came out looking like Sephiroth. Like I had the V and everything going down. It was so funny because I actually ended up meeting up with one of my other like exes at the time, and she was like, "Damn," because it was summertime and I was like, "It's hot as shit." I like pulled my shirt open like up to like wipe my face, and she looked down at my cup gutters. It was like, "God damn." I was like, "What?" She was like, "I didn't know it was like that." It was funny as fuck. But yeah, wish I did like indulge myself with and indulge my curiosity with them, but yeah, yeah, say lovey. But yeah, when I got back home, of course, that's when I found out that my ex was messing with somebody new, and I was like, you know what? Alright, cool. I'm not happy about that, but I'm happy that they're happy. Because that was always my thing. My thing was always the thing about if I'm with somebody, I'm I want them to be happy. And if it turns out that we break up and they find somebody else that makes them happy, then I want to be happy for them because that's what I want for them. I want them to be okay. I want them to find their person, and then them finding their person, and I'll find my person, or however serendipity works, or like that. So yeah, that's why I stayed friends with her because that was what my whole point was like. We were friends before we had coitus, so there's no reason for us not to have like a friendship afterwards, and that's how I feel about all my exes, unless they are horrible people and do horrible things for me. Now, people can, apologize and, truly be sorry for their actions. But yeah, most of the time, it was just, if you did me dirty, just hold some accountability for yourself and then we can move forward. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been a couple of my exes who actually was able to do that. Who actually came to me and was like, "Yeah, I was wrong. Like, I shouldn't have did that. Like, I was hurt. I felt some type of way, and I threw you on the bus." It was actually funny because one of the people I really cared about and enjoyed like hanging out with got me kicked out of my high school because one of her other friends who was attracted to me got coerced her to cause this facade of this whole fiasco at the school, and they had to go through this whole rigmarole. And one of the friends who got coerced, another friend that got coerced into it, basically like told the truth and was like, "No, I'm not gonna let y'all do that because he never touched me. He didn't touch any of us in that way. Everything that we did was consensual and playful. We was just all having fun. I don't even know why they said all this. I'm not letting y'all know. Y'all can't do that." And that's when all the other girls corroborated and was like, "Yeah, no, we lied." And but the fucked up part was because of the fact that racist ass piece of shit, white motherfucking colonized piece of shit, dumb ass motherfucker. Sorry. He, it was racially driven, but I'm grateful for that racism, if you will, because he basically was like, "Whoa, your son," talking to my roommate, my mom, my roommate, like, because it's on the record and he was suspended, it's going to be on this permanent record and we can't change that. And it's like, yes, the fuck you can. If you type that shit in there, you can erase that shit. It's delete. That's all it is. The fuck you talking about? Piece of shit. But my roommate, again, not being a parent, did not fight for me. She decided to take me to church and pray. Not even tell the goddamn pastors or anybody in power about what the fuck was going on, and maybe them and then and their highfalutenness could be like, "No, I got some city council friends. I got some people in the district of Philadelphia that can expunge that shit, and yeah, he'll be fine. Matter of fact, y'all could sue something. No, never happened. But I was expelled off of girls lying on my name, which became a pattern, and I ended up going to Roxborough. When I say Roxborough was amazing and also so horrible for me because I had to take a bus to Roxborough. My school life career, if you will, was literally every school was about a 1 mile radius to me. I mean, realistically, my kindergarten was right around the corner from my house. My middle school was right down the road, right down the street from my house, literally on the same block. When I walk out the door, hit a left, and then I'm 2 blocks away from my middle school. My high school, King, like reminds me, like elementary school was John L. Kinsey, middle school was Wagner, high school was King, and yeah, King was literally come out my front door, turn to the right, and then walk like 6 blocks, basically down Shelton, or I could just cut up Stinton and then walk straight down Stinton, and then I was at King. Now, because I was in Roxborough, I had to walk out my door, make a right, go wait on the corner for the K, and then let the K take me all the way down Midville and Bridge in Midville, and then I either can hop off and catch the 32, or I can go all the way down to Ridge in Midville and then catch the R and go up. I went to school at Roxborough for 2 years. It was fun. It was different. This was the first time it was basically an interracial school dynamic. I was seeing new things. I was seeing new people. It was fun. It was great. Um, that was the school that I was able to go to see Les Miserables in New York off Broadway. I was such a dork. Oh, I was such a dork. We went to New York, and I literally during intermission. Now, mind you, it was not 3 o'clock. It wasn't nowhere near TRL time, but me and my just autism, ADHD, adolescent nature, I left the play. I left the play and went around the corner because we was right around the corner from TRL, and I just was standing out there looking up at the window, just like, wow, I'm in New York. And TRL, I watch this like almost every day. With Kirsten Daly and everybody right up there, just hanging out, talking about music and shit. That's awesome. It was like, oh shit, the play, but I gotta start. And then ran back to watch the play. But it was fun. It was actually, that trip was when me and one of my teachers got closer. She was a Spanish teacher as well as like the head of like the health department, I guess, of that school. And she put me on blast like the first week. Like me and like I was getting to know a couple of the ladies there, stuff like that, because that's just my nature. And we're joking and laughing, and then this motherfucker gonna be like, Troy, I know you need to be cautious, because I know why you're here. Like, bitch, no the fuck you don't. What the fuck? So I just at that point, that was like week one, I think. So after that, I basically just stopped going to school for a while. Now this is before Job Corps, so like I would go. At first, it was like I would go, and then I was like, let me see if I can just not go to school, just stay on the bus. And that's what I did. I just stayed on the bus, went past the school, and I had a book in my book bag, and I was reading my book. I actually would go to the park, and I would just read my books at the park. And then when it was time for me to go home from school, I would just go home. And because my mom wasn't there, she worked two jobs, and my grandmom and grandpa was there. Like nobody asked me what I was doing or where I was at. They just was like, okay, he's coming home after school. So that's what I did. I learned the different routes of buses, and I just would go to different places. Like I used to go to the Northeast all the time because I was familiar with the Northeast. My uncle used to take us to, will take me and him to the Northeast to go to the comic book store, the arcade, Orleans 8, the movie theater, Orleans 8, West Coast Video. My mom and I used to go to Sears because of the credit union and yada yada yada. So by the time I was like 16 and I started working at Burger King in Doylestown, um, I basically was already taking the bus already, but I was taking the 55 to Willow Grove to go to Doylestown, or the 22 to Willow Grove to catch the bus to Doylestown. But when I got expelled from King with the Roxborough, it really put a dent in my timing because it wasn't like I could walk from King and then hop on the bus and then skip it out over the to work. A lot of times I was late when I was going to school. So I took initiative to say, nah, fuck it. I'll just go to work. And that's what I was doing. Just going to work. I would hang out like at parks or what like that, and then when it was time for me to like skedaddle, I would get on the bus and go straight to work, which was great. It was fun. I read a lot of books and seen a lot of sights in the city. It was great, but fun times. But that's why, like, after a while, I want to say halfway through year one, that's when I went back and like said, okay, let me try to do some stuff, yada yada yada, and yeah, I stuck in there. But at the same time, I still had a chip on my shoulder, and this was something new. It was a new environment. I felt betrayed by everybody from the school district to my mom at the time. And, like I was like, whatever, because this is my United States of whatever. But yeah, so I just cut, and but then I came back and I started going to school again. I started hanging out with people again, and then I found out about the play, and I forged the signature, and I paid out of my own pocket, and I ended up going to New York. I don't even know if my mom and them even knew that I did that, but whatever. Um, but yeah, on that trip, like me and that same teacher who put me on blast, talking loud, not knowing what the fuck she was talking about, basically came out and was like, "Yeah, I'm so sorry that I did what I did, and like that was uncalled for, and like I see who you are and how you carry yourself, and that doesn't have any inkling on what was written down on your permanent like transcript or like that." And it was like cool. Like I appreciate appreciate that. And we had actually really like it wasn't like a mentoree mentor like relationship, but it was like we had respect for each other after that point, and I gave respect for her, and she showed me that she had respect for me. It was nice, but yeah, um, that was funny to me because I became infamous in that school with so many different levels. It was so funny. Because I actually wore like gray sweatpants to school one day. It wasn't even one of those things I was trying to flex. It was literally just I ain't have anything else to wear except these gray sweatpants. And like I remember walking downstairs because the way Roxborough was, it was like when you go down one wing, one of the wings had this like short stairwell that led down to it. So like I remember was walking downstairs and I heard somebody say, "Damn," but I didn't know it was talking about me. So I'm literally walking and I get down the stairs because mind you, they can only see my feet, my knees, then my imprint, then my waist, then then they see my stomach, and my torso like that. So I'm not seeing them looking up at me as well as their eye. They don't see whose head is connected to this silhouette, if you will. And by the time I came down, was able to see straight down the hallway. Everybody in the hallway was stopped. Everybody was paused, and everybody was looking directly at me. I was like, "What? What I missed? What's happening?" And it was so funny. Like so many people started talking to me after that, and that's when again I had a target on my back. So, I ended up dating. Oh, I forgot her name. What was her name? But she was cute. She was cute. She had the Halle Berry haircut. I was obsessed with the Halle Berry haircut. Um, she had a thick like trim build. Like she actually do karate, which was so funny because I heard the story from both sides, and both sides was hilarious to me, but it was still one of those things that was like, I wish I was able to there to see it because it sounds so funny. But me and her started dating after that, and it was good. We had a cute relationship. It was I get to fill in her ass, and she would fill in my dick, and yeah, kissed and made out a little bit, but nothing crazy. I was already still smashing somebody else at the time, but um, yeah, it was fun. Uh, so that's when after year two of being in Roxborough, that's when I just dropped out. I was like, I'm done. I might as well just work, just working, just keep working, and I'll figure shit out. But then that's when I later on was like, I should at least let my mom at the time see me walk down the aisle. And that's when I went to job. I decided myself to go to Job Corps, get the GED, get the trade in carpentry, and set out to come back and marry. My ex at the time, who had the dream that I was gonna cheat on her, but whatever. And so yeah, we after I got back, she was dating somebody else. That's when I just was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna fuck anything and everything that gives me attention. I was like, I'm good at sex. I enjoy helping people have orgasms. And why shouldn't I? And that's basically what it was. It was just a collage of faces and places and drinks. And it was just me just having a fucking rip roaring rampage around the city of Philadelphia and fucking as many willing people as possible. business was good, but it was just me trying to fill a hole, literally and figuratively and symbiotically. but yeah, like no, it was. I had a hole in my heart. I was in love, or what I thought was being in love at the time, and what what it really was I was looking for a connection, and I thought I had a connection. I thought she was my person. I thought she was the one that would always understand me and always know me and always have my back the same way I felt about her. And coming back and seeing her canoodled up with somebody new and literally was dating the whole time. Like the whole point of her saying that was a lie. Like she made up the whole thing. Now don't get me wrong, I was in her dream, so it's not like I could say she made up the dream part. But the contingency of that was basically to say we're breaking up so I can go date other people. That was her MO, and like that was her journey. And yeah, I learned that the hard way, and that became a recurring theme of just women that I care about using me to a certain extent, and then when I didn't want to comply and play the fool for them, then they took it upon themselves to create a fable to make me out to be some type of villain, and of course public opinion, which wasn't as bad as the whole Me Too movement, but still in the same vein of just a whole bunch of narcissists that are aggressors who try to play the victim. Um, Not everybody, because I loved the Me Too movement when the movement first started, because I was like, hold motherfuckers accountable. Like, everybody should be held accountable. If you do something fucked up to somebody, man, woman, or child, it doesn't matter. If you do something fucked up, fucking own it. Fucking own it. It's not always about saying I'm sorry, but it is about acknowledging the fact that you hurt somebody. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of people was hurt. But a lot of people was hurt on both sides because it became a thing of the original victims of these horrific ordeals. You know, they were the ones that really were silenced. Like, they built the courage up to actually come out to actually tell their side of the story and say, this is what happened to me. And to get a smidget of recognition and a smidget of like a connection and a community to say like, yeah, I'm so sorry that happened, like, what can we do to help? But then it became all these weirdo narcissists coming out who either wanted to create a scandal to make themselves look big or important, or it was those who wanted to speak up on behalf of other people that was hurt or victimized. Now, I don't have a problem with people speaking up for the victim if the victim's not able to, but the shit that was happening was literally just pieces of shit who wanted the limelight and wanted to be in a front row seat and have people look at them and say, yeah, look at them. And I met so many of these scumbags before, it's fucking ridiculous. But that's on another note. But yeah, it just became a thing of this whole lesson that literally even took me even recently to like understand like we live in a system, and clearly the world is finding it out even more now with all these Epstein fucking emails and all the shit that's going on with this pedophile ring and the fucking like. I'm not going to get into that just right now. I will talk about that, but that's such a deep rabbit hole that it's not even fucking funny. But we live in a fucking indoctrinated system that trains us to be selfish, to be narcissistic, to be cutthroat, to be just scumbags. Like, these colonizers, these parasites that run the country, that's been running the country, have been instilling their immoral values onto us as the masses since before our ancestors was released from slavery. And when you have an affected fucking limb, you either try to cure it or you amputate that shit. And the problem is, everybody has that fucking affected limb in them if they're not on a higher vibration. If you're still circulating yourself as a black hole, as a singularity, as a nexus point saying, I'm going to drain, suck, and absorb every energy, power, stuff like that from everybody else to make myself better, then you're a black hole. And it's not me condemning you, it's just how I see it. Right? Even with the whole thing, like, it is so easy to slip into it. Like, case in point, like, now because a lot of the scammers know that they're being, like, revealed as scammers, like, let's, for example, some of the tarot readers, they know they're being exposed as scammers. So now, their new thing is, which is, on the surface, it sounds great, because it's like, yeah, don't, I'm never going to interact with you, I'm never going to talk to you, I'm never going to DM you, but you can DM me to give me money. It's a sound plan, however, it is still a selfish as shit plan, because point blank period, it becomes into that model of superstardom type shit, like, y'all are all beneath me and I will not talk to you. But if you want to talk to me because I'm feeding off your energy that you're giving me, I'm also going to feed off your paycheck if you want to hear me talk to you personally. When I'm like, I actually said that and I'm not saying she's a scammer and all like that, I'm not lumping her with that, but she does use that rhetoric at the end of being like, I will never call you, I will never email you, I will never message you, but if you want to read and hit me up. But the thing with that, I'm like, why can't we just all just support each other? Like, I'm not saying you gotta DM anybody and all like that, but if you, why can't it be a thing where it's like, hey, put your shit underneath my comments. If we're a collective, then let's be a collective and collectively support each other. Like, and then we can figure out by the things that we put out, you know, what's what. Now, regardless of anything, everybody is trying to make a living in their lives. Hence the whole point, Operation Robin Hood, being in the case of just being like, if everybody pick their hobbies or the things that they enjoy out there in the world, they can literally make an extra couple $100, something like that, depending on who you are. Because, I mean, we know you're, ironically, like, not unironically, but as a woman, it's easier for y'all to get more support and money from both genders, all genders, than it is for most guys do. I mean, especially now since we have these very uneducated women, like, foaming at the mouth for genocide of all men, which is so redundant. But I'm not even gonna get into that. It's like, how can become better as a society if everyone want to point a finger and say you're bad because you don't think exactly like me. It don't compute. It don't make sense. It really doesn't. But that's their journey. I don't care. I'm not worried about parasites or black holes or any other agendas where motherfuckers want to act like they're the grand poobah and everybody else is beneath them. Like, I feel like we're all equal. And the only reason I say that is because of the fact that we all was born and we all gonna die. And in the middle of that, we all breathe oxygen. So, I mean, you can be special and not breathe oxygen, or you be special and breathe underwater, you know. But, like, we still want to end up in the same place as dust in the wind. So, I don't understand the point of anybody trying to be better than anyone else when, for me, and this is my journey, this is my alignment, I'd rather be better than I was yesterday. I'd rather improve myself and better myself so that I can leave a good legacy for my daughter and my heirs after, you know, I'm dead and gone. Like, if she have grandchildren, like, I can show them in my examples of, like, this is, you can be whatever you want. You can choose to be whoever you want. And there's nobody's fucking prerogative to tell you who you are because they don't fucking know you. And until they know you, they still can't tell you who the fuck you are because they only know part of you in your whole totality of your life. So, I just want to breathe life into people, just like I am breathing life back into myself. And it took me doing this by myself to get to the point where I can really truly say I am grateful and I love myself. I'm in love with myself. And I'm not tolerating any shit from anybody else ever again. Like, cause I love everybody. Like, as a humanitarian, like, human race type thing. I love everybody. It's the individual people that I have situations of annoyance with. I mean, everybody can do their own thing, that's their own journey, but when people go out their way just to be either negative or to be condescending or just to be, they don't show any type of life and they don't want to have any type of life other than destroying someone else's life. It's disgusting to me. That's why I want to. That's why I want to live in the woods, and that's why I'm going to live in the woods. Because regardless of me living in the woods, I would still be making my money. I could still fly around the world, but I don't want to be around anybody anymore. Like, I really don't. Like, everyone is made to be unique and be their own selves, but everybody act weird because everybody want to act like they're exactly the same, and we're not. We're not. Like, people have allergies and other people don't for Christmas sake, so we can't act like we're all exactly the same people. Like, the experiences that I experienced, the perceptions of things I've seen, my perspective is always going to be slightly different from the person next to me. And people act like that's not something that they know. Like, it's so funny looking at these comments on like different social media and stuff like that, where people are literally like, yeah, that was easy. And then you'll get two comments down, but like, I didn't know that was the answer. It was like, social, social media is one of the biggest eye openers for so many conjunctivitis vision people. Like, it's so many blind people on social media that it's hilarious. It really is. It's a laughing riot. Because, I mean, people really act as if just because they know something, then everyone knows it. And if you don't know it, then you're dumb because you didn't know what I knew. It was like, how would one person know what another person is thinking or what they know if they didn't grow up in the same house and live with the same parents or go in the same school or have the same teacher or had the same like everyday schedule as that person? How could we possibly know what another person knows in totality? It's laughable if it wasn't so sad. And then like, oh god, I'm not trying to talk about it, but it is what it is. Because when I tell you, I went down this rabbit hole with the Epstein files last year. Now, the new emails that are coming out is, you know that episode of The Simpsons, which is even worse now because The Simpsons was connected to Epstein's fucking island too. I knew I stopped watching The Simpsons for a reason. I stopped watching The Simpsons years ago, but there was an episode where Homer went into the bathroom and the Marge's sisters was there. One of the sisters was in the shower and he seen her and he poured bleach in his eye. And Bart was going to the bathroom and he stopped and he poured bleach in Bart's eye before he even went into the bathroom. And then his eye came out. And it was like the bathroom of yours and Homer and Bart like hugged and Bart was just thank you. He kept just saying thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like, I wish I could pour bleach in my eyes reading some of the emails that was there. Like, not even some, like almost all of them. Like, it's wild, dude. Beyond, like, they, so, if you haven't read it, read it yourself. I don't even want to make my stomach fucking queasy. Now, there's other things involved with the emails. Believe it or not, if you want, it's all about your perspective. Think what you want. I don't care. But the fact of the matter is, before the emails came out, there were the facts. I'm not even going to say rumors. The facts of when Nicholas Tesla was killed, the government came in and swiped all of his shit. And then all of a sudden, that fucking weird book came out about Baron Trump, who used time travel to go back in time and yada 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 yada. And now that we know that time travel actually might be a thing, well, we know it. Well, I know it is, but the fact that these motherfuckers have been orchestrating and shaping the indoctrination and the rules of everything that's been going down. Hence the whole Simpsons goddamn prediction shit. It wasn't predictions. It was literally them planning what they were planning and them And The Simpsons being like, we're just going to tell you what it is. Y'all can't do nothing about it anyway. Literally. Literally, literally, literally. Which is funny. Because I was watching Jobless Reincarnation. And after a second rewatching, I started thinking about the whole concept of time travel and stuff because of how they explained it in the show. And I love how they explained it in the show because the fact of the matter is how they explained it was teleportation and summoning spells fundamentally are the same. In a summoning spell, you're taking someone from a location and summoning them to you. The teleportation spell is you yourself is transported to another location. Now, the aspect of both of these powers also revolve around space-time because it would take instant transmission, Goku style, for a person or a thing to be transmitted from one space to the next. That being the case, if you actually pick the coordinates of where, which is also going to be tricky in itself, but you know, we don't have to worry about that type of science because y'all not going to have time travel. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that, but y'all not going to be time traveling. They're not going to give that technology to y'all. So, but I'm just saying, if hypothetically if I'm writing this as a story, it's going to the point of using the astrological chartering dates of where the planet is aligned from, let's just say, using myself, 1981, where the planet was in the solar system compared to every single year where the planet lines up is almost the exact same spot because remember, we're falling in space in a spiral, or depending on your perspective, falling, soaring up into space in a spiral. But regardless, if we had a marker of wherever our planet was in 1981 and then do like a equator line of 1982, 3, 4, so forth to 2026, and in that line we can project or predict how to leverage that information to a literal understanding of where your placement will be. Because you can teleport and go back in time, but the planet is not going to be stationed where you at. And as well as you don't want to fuse yourself in the ground by thinking that if you teleport yourself back then, you're going to instantly land on the ground safe and sound. There's different gravitational pulls and different gravitational sets that are in play during that. So you don't want to have your feet fused in with concrete cement because you was off by a couple of decimal points, or you don't want to end up like Sophie and being like 100 fucking 1,000 feet in the air, falling to your doom. Thank goodness she had fucking powers. Like, that was a harrowing scene. But yeah, but the fact of the matter is, if you use those type of coordinates and also trust that those coordinates are accurate because they're man-made, then you can theoretically land safely in teleporting yourself through time and space to a different location. But that's what I worked out in my own head. I'm not saying that's a factual thing or an actual scientific experiment that I actually am doing. I'm just saying that's something when I write my books, that would be the explanation for time travel and space-time travel. But I digress. because I can't end this off without talking about what I've been also learning throughout this whole experiment of experience of this social construct that is America. Fuck ICE also. God. But I'm following a doctor who specializes in dementia patients as well as different circumstances of health issues and stuff. Um, and he is going off his own experience and basically is like, Trump is going to die in the next 2 to 4 months, basically. Actually, he's in 1 to 3 months now, but yeah, it looks like. Well, we already know Trump has dementia, but the doctor, from his medical professional opinion, says Trump's going to be dead soon, which is a huge win, but also such an unexpected variable because um, Vance, I can't trust that motherfucker as far as I can spit. And honestly, I feel like this motherfucker's the Antichrist, but I only time will tell. But I don't know, is he going to fold or is he going to triple down because now he's in power? Like, because he's an idiot too. So, but regardless, yeah, I'm also cracking up because at least on a lighter note and some good news, these ICE idiots, first of all, they literally put themselves in debt because one, they was supposed to be, they kept saying it was gonna a $50,000 bonus or something like that, but technically it's $10,000 a year, and but they have to hold up a quota of killing a whole bunch of American citizens. But if they don't hold up the quota, then they get taxed as well as they have to repay back the bonuses, and it's on a compound interest thing where their interest rates is way higher than the $50,000 payout that they're been claiming they're going to get. So they literally got raped and screwed by their own fucking ignorance. Yeah, but that's their journey, and I'm glad that a lot of different states are fighting back, and a lot of states are telling them to demask and fucking show your fucking faces, you fucking piece of shit cowards. And the fact of the matter is, y'all know y'all pieces of shit cowards because if y'all have to take your mask off, a lot of y'all already said y'all gonna quit. Fucking pussies. But I digress. it's it's crazy living in Armageddon. Like, it's wild to literally be living through the apocalypse. Like, revelations, if you will. I mean, but at the same time, remember, it's the end of the world as we know it, at the end of the world. That being said, like, it's wild, dude. Like, I used to listen to Revelations when I used to sleep. Like, I used to go to sleep, put the CD, I had a CD of Revelations. Revelations was my favorite book. I don't like Christianity. I was not a fan of Christianity. I always thought it was stupid. Because once again, the whole ancestral thing. But now all this shit makes sense. All this shit makes sense now. Like, Trump fucking his daughter, or I'm sorry, Trump saying he would fuck his daughter, them being cannibals, and eating babies, eating human flesh. I mean, it's in the Bible. Drink, this is my blood. Eat, this is my flesh. Like, sacrificing a quote unquote innocent man to bathe everybody else in his blood to wash away their sins. Like, yeah, it's disturbing, dude. It's disturbing. So, yeah, like it really makes my stomach crazy. But it's wild living in this type of situation because it was one, I never thought I would be living in a situation like this. Two, I never thought I'd be living in a situation like this. Yeah, like even reading the Bible, reading Revelations, you like, but how? But how is any of this really what happened? Like I know a lot of it is metaphors, a lot of stuff is interpretation, but like how? Like how? But it is. It's happening. Like literally, we have a whole fucking presidency of cannibal pedophiles, murderous cannibal pedophiles. It's like just deplorable sex deviants, and people are literally asking questions of being like, so what are you doing for Valentine's Day? Like, starting a revolution, bitch. What do you mean? Like, god damn. I'm so happy I got my swords. Like, I'm happy I got my swords. They're quiet. That's what you need. People get too loud, and that's what draws people attention. Swords aren't loud, not unless you drop them and they cling to the floor. But don't drop your swords. That's the solution. But yeah, yeah, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be really, really wild. But I'm happy to see a lot of different cities are fighting back, and they're fighting against this fucking tyranny, and they're winning. They're winning. But I can't talk about this topic anymore because it's sickening. Like, once again, I'm so grateful that I'm going to be getting into the field I'm getting into to help those in need to heal from sexual trauma. Like, it makes so much sense now why this world is so fucked up the way it is because it was ran by a whole bunch of just horrible parasites, man. Just horrible parasites. This, oh my god, sorry, the whole Super Bowl thing had me dying because these maggots literally are trying to be like, no, it's not Trump and them that are pedophiles. That's the liberals. That's the libs. That's them. They pedophiles. They blah 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 blah. But they fucking got Kid Rocked to do their bullshit ass fucking maggot ass fucking halftime show. And this weird ass piece of shit literally have lines about statutory being mandatory. Like, if I had one wish, I would wish all the parasites had never been born. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, oh god. Like, they ruin everything. They really do ruin everything. Like, they can't season food right. They created fucking slavery. They're fucking just liars. They have nothing but the only culture they have is theft culture. That's the only culture they have. They steal everything from everybody, and then they want to turn around and call everybody else savages. They literally came in and brought smallpox into a native fucking area and killed thousands of motherfuckers, millions of people. They killed each other. But everybody want to point and be like, oh yeah, these motherfuckers said that black people are fucking savages and lazy. And that rumor happened right after slavery was fucking abolished. So before slavery, black people weren't lazy. They were fucking high commodity property. Not even people, property. But as soon as slavery get abolished, now all of a sudden, blacks are lazy. Y'all motherfuckers was drinking unsweetened iced tea while my ancestors was fucking picking cotton. Making this nation as wealthy as this fucking is. Where's our fucking reparations? Fucking parasites. Fucking tired of this shit. But anyway. Focusing on my journey and my journey with my daughter, I am grateful that regardless of whatever happens in the world, she and I will be safe. That's my only concern. For myself, for her, and for my tribe. But until I find my tribe and stop running into these infected, indoctrinated individuals, which I'm making headway. I'm literally breaking out of the last chambers of hell of meeting people that are just I'm not gonna say liars, but I wanna say aren't being truthful with themselves and in turn not being truthful with me. Like and not holding accountability or space to say like where they're at. I had to deal with this with my blood family, I had to deal with this with my so-called friends. And I'm happy to know that regardless of what they are doing or what they lack in accountability and honesty, I can still hold myself to a standard of saying I've always been honest with everybody I have ever encountered and talked to. Like, I've always shared my truth, and I'm lucky to say my truth is aligned to the actual truth of situations. I'm happy that I still have all my receipts and my recordings. So when I tell my stories, no one can say, oh, you made that up. Because the recordings and the receipts are right here. Hell, it was something I had to do today, which was beautiful because I was holding everyone else accountable to them trying to fuck me over, which is another thing. I'm so like I have no stress anymore. It's so wonderful. But I was getting calls and snail mail basically saying I owe medical bill. And so they just kept calling me, kept calling me. And I was like, what is this for? Like, what is this pertaining to? They was like, oh, the date of October 17th. It was like, you had labs done and we need to get paid for those labs. So I was like, that doesn't sound right, but let me check. And luckily, like I've been saying, if you've been listening, I am always up to date on my chart, which means anytime I'm with someone before and after, I always make sure I get myself screened for any STIs, clean and clear. So I am familiar with my mind chart and how to go back into my records to see what days I came to see my inpatient visits and what they did. They have everything charted out. Look on my file, October 17th, literally says labs, none. Boom. This is not on me. Y'all gotta figure this shit out. And they were, well, can you call? I was like, what would I do? Why can't you call? But I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It is what it is. I'll call. I'll email them. So I emailed my doctors and told them, hey, y'all need to talk to the lab people because they billing me for something I have nothing to do with. Like, I didn't have labs that day. I came in for a follow-up checkup, and there it is. And everything else is paid on my medical stuff, which is also hilarious because you always hear the usual people like, yo, I'm not paying my medical bill, blah blah. I paid my medical bill. I actually want to keep my stuff in line, my credit and stuff in line. I'm actually doing really good. My credit's going up amazingly. I'm proud of myself. But I digress. Yeah, just it, being in a space where I'm just relaxed and being able to just be free and be myself and not really worry about what the next person is feeling or thinking about because that's not my journey. My journey, my responsibility is making sure I stay black and die happy, as well as making sure that I keep my daughter alive and healthy. So, yeah, that's my journey. So they become 18 and decide that they want to do whatever they want to do on their own. Until that day, yeah, I want to make sure I'm the best version of myself for myself and then for my daughter. And in doing so, I want to become the best psychiatrist I can so I can help as many people as I can with any of their sexual intimacy hangups or a world that try to tell them they're strange because the powers that be have been lying to everybody saying how they shouldn't be doing X, Y. How is it these pieces of shit? See, this is what I'm saying. I don't want to keep going back to this, but these pieces of shit have literally been campaigning on a whole fucking fact of being gays is wrong, being gay is wrong, being trans is wrong, being anything that's not heteronormal is wrong. While these pieces of shit are fucking raping children, killing fucking children, eating fucking children, and y'all wanna fucking act like y'all still wanna have a problem with somebody dressing up in fucking drag? Or identifying themselves as they, them? Dyeing their fucking hair green? Y'all wanna have a problem with that? But y'all wanna fucking turn y'all fucking eye up and fucking put your hand in the goddamn sand when y'all fucking hear reports about them eating fucking children? Raping fucking children? All y'all need to go fucking burn in hell on a fucking express screen. gasoline underwear on. Pieces of shit. Tired of this shit. This shit is disgusting. Hence, why I'm going to move in the woods. Because you never know who the fuck you're sitting next to. You never know. And at this point, I don't want to know. I'm good. I'm saying my message. I'm living in my spiritual totality. And I'm just, like I said, anybody want to go in the woods and just live in the woods away from society, listen, I hope you find a really nice plot of land. Because at this point, everybody's a suspect. Like, everybody's a suspect. I don't trust anybody. And this is why I understand this whole concept of the new celebrities that's coming out. The ideas of there's going to be a turning point in what society deems as the new celebrities or new icons or new teachers or new mentors or yada yada yada. Because when it comes down to it, I don't trust anybody in Hollywood at this point. Like, everybody is possibly, like, Anne Hathaway was on the goddamn list, dude. Like, and I'm like, okay, here's the thing. I'm a fan of Anne Hathaway to a certain extent. It's not like one of my old friends, which I feel so sorry for him because he loves Anne Hathaway, but he loved her since Princess Diaries. Like, I was a fan of, what's that movie? I think it was the one where she had cancer. But that was the first time she was topless in that movie, I think. But that movie was, like, regardless of the topless scene, the movie was actually really good. It was really heartfelt. Can't remember everything. But, and I never really watched. I didn't watch Ocean 14 with the ladies. I can't stand Aquafina. I literally only watched her in two things. That was Shang-Chi and Crazy Rich Asians. Other than that, I can't watch her. She gets on my fucking nerves too. Not as much as these pedophile fucking murders, but she gets on my nerves. But yeah, now everything's starting to make sense, yo. Like, the whole connection with Israel and the Jewish pipeline of Hollywood, and the fact of, like, looking at what's her name? What was the what's her name? From that worked with Zendaya on the Disney Channel. Sutton Thorne. Brenda Thorne, Rebecca Thorne, whatever her damn Thorne was. Like, her leaving Disney Channel and literally going to create porn was one of the wildest, like, change ups. But I respected it because I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, be an adult, do your thing. Like, if that's what you call it to, go for it. I'm fucking writing it. I write erotica, so I got a whole plan for my erotica, but that comes later. So I was like, yeah, go for it. Fucking Sabrina Carpenter, going from Girl Meets World, which I loved Girl Meets World because it was a spin-off of Boy Meets World, and I was like, hey, that could be like the real life version of The Lion King for me and my daughter. Like, we can watch, because my daughter loved Lion King. Well, first one, second one, 1.5 sing-along one, the Pride Mountain one, the TV show where it was Simba's son, and he was going through a whole series of learning the plains of, Africa So I was like, yeah, we can. I can have her watch Boy Meets World, and then it leads up to Girl Meets World, just like how me and her brothers watched Naruto, the Naruto Shippuden, and like, yeah, it was dope. But and also we was trying to watch Voltron, but they the kids it was so sad. The kids betrayed me, and they watched Voltron. Kept watching Voltron when I was at work. It's like, damn, who can you trust? But anyway, um, but yeah, like Sabrina Carpenter. When I tell you, Sabrina Carpenter's music is some of the raunchiest, whimsical fucking shit, and no one bats an eye. She literally walks around in an X-Men costume lingerie fucking fit. Like, literally. Like, no one bats an eye. I feel like Heath Ledger's Joker. I swear to God. Like, it's so fucking funny. But talented. Like, talented as shit. Like, when I, she's funny. Like, when I tell you, her innuendos is hilarious. Fucking hilarious. But, yeah, nobody bats an eye. Nobody bats an eye. But everybody be up there trying to be like, oh, look over there at this one. On some Kansas City Shuffle shit. Like, her demographic is literally teen poppers and young women. And almost all her songs are about sex. Innuendos about sex. Like, people still are talking about Taylor Swift and how bland her music is. But nobody's like, it talked about something. Like, there are women in their 20s and 30s that box Sabrina Carpenter because of the fact that they're like, yeah, that's my sex life. While their little cousins and little sisters are also begging Sabrina Carpenter, listening to all these innuendos and stuff like that, and they're like, hey, we're going to go to the concert. But, whatever. That's their journey. I do find it interesting that the Anne H stuff is coming back up again because no one was listening to anyone when those who literally watched the video seeing Anne H get up from the body bag, sit up from the body bag, and literally was waving her arms around like, I'm alive, I'm alive. Literally, the reporter was like, oh my god, she's still alive. And then they was like, oh, she died. like, and that's my point. The Corey Feldmans, the Corey Fields, like, they was talking about this pedophile ring since they was kids, dude. Like, kids. Like, to the point where Corey killed herself and the other Corey turned it into Michael Jackson. But he turned into Michael Jackson with a hero. Well, at least his hero was full of a whole bunch of women. It was women his age or appropriate age. So, small blessings for that. I mean, I don't know him personally. I just seen him in his interviews, and he's always just has this flock of girls dressed up as Michael Jackson. So I'm happy that in that case of a hurt person, he doesn't seem to be hurting anybody else. Like, so, but yeah, man, this shit. The funny, crazy part is I've been following this shit for decades, not even years, decades. Like, I've been listening to these reports because I know what it feels like to not be heard, to not be seen, to not be acknowledged, to not to be cared for, to be thrown in the gutter, basically. So I I took my time to start listening to all those people that was saying the same things I was feeling. So I've been listening to all these stories for like since I was a kid and just being like, wow, nobody really helps anybody. Not unless they once again are being a predator and they're trying to do it for their own gains or to fucking show the world that they're not a horrible, disgusting human being. You know, like I'm looking forward to getting my robots. Getting my robots. Getting 5 of them. I'm gonna have them be AI operated. And then I'm just gonna be playing D&D. I'm just gonna have us play D&D. Just play D&D with AI robots. And that's it. That's what I'm doing. That was literally after I discovered D&D. That was literally my goal. I was like, yeah, I want to be poly, and we'll have a whole polycule, and we're gonna play D&D. And just role play D&D. It'll be like Critical Role and stuff where we're all having sex. Sorry, I just went to an amazing place in my head with that, but sorry. Um, Laura Belly would be proud. But yeah, yeah, this this has been the weirdest like year, and it's this night we haven't even gotten to Valentine's Day yet, and it's been the weirdest year ever. Oh my god, like between the, oh, it's so much happening. It's wild. It's wild. Like you couldn't make this shit up, and somehow it is real. Like, what is reality at this point? Like, what is reality? That don't make any sense. But that's the world we're living in today. And with that being said, yeah, I guess I'll sign off. Because I we literally have pedophile, murderer, rapists. I can't even say they're Satanists. They're Christians. They're Christians. In power. In the governmental power. And almost half the country picked them there. And a quarter of that half are actually like, my bad. We didn't know. Even though we were all on the other sides, was saying, listen to what the fuck he's saying. He's a horrible piece of shit. Yeah, we all gotta lay in the bed that they fucking created. This is bullshit. But, like I said, I'm okay. Because luckily, I am just healing from my back injury, and I'm just reading comic books and playing games. Playing video games. But I hope everybody else can keep themselves safe and protected. If you can, go buy a gun. If you can't, go buy a sword. If you can't do that, get yourself a knife sharpener and just start sharpening up your kitchen knives. Figure out how you can barricade your home. Figure out how to get rations. Make a bug out bag. Just the essential stuff that you need, that if shit go down, you can just grab your the bag in your car. Just make a bag, and then every I don't know every week change out the food ration. Get some granola bars. Get some trail mix. Get some fucking canned goods. Make sure you got a can opener. Get two can openers, and just yeah, get some dry clothes, dry clean clothes. Get some band-aids, first aid kit, water. Get a map. Get a map. Get a hard copy paper map and learn how to read maps. Because if shit goes down and an EMP happens, you can't use GPS in your phone. So many people gonna be like, I don't know how to get places because my phone's dead. Oh my god, that just made me brain hurt. So, yeah, I mean, do what you want. I just know that I've been preparing for the last like 4 years. I feel like Captain Jack Harkness, like 21st century is whatever they have. Oh man, okay. It's almost 6 o'clock. 5:58. I am going to tuck it in and go to bed, and hopefully this week gets better than the last. But realistically, it probably won't get worse before it gets better. But viva la revolution, anarchy. Remember, if the country that you live in stands and are okay with pedophiles, murderers, and also killing its own American citizens in cold blood on the street with a Gestapo force, then your only line of defense is to self-preservate and protect yourself, as well as find more people to align with to create a mob to go against this equal imposing force. You can't do this alone. And if you do this alone, it's because you're being indoctrinated and believing that you can't trust nobody. Now, understand, if you have friends and your friends have friends and y'all are friends and all y'all are aligned, then guess what? You have a small militia. There you go. Now you just gotta meet up with other small. Look, when I tell you, I watched that Leonardo DiCaprio movie, one battle after another, and it showed how fucking diabolical these motherfuckers are. It's yeah, I gotta go. It's 6 o'clock. Y'all have a good night. Have a good morning. Have a good rest of your week. Viva la revolution. This has been a Troyiverse production.